We are back in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, and I'm going to give you the lowdown on the Somnium VR1 after 9 months. But first, a massive shout out to this channel sponsor, FS Academy, for producing the best tutorials for this sim. Whether you are a GA pilot, airline captain, or just starting out, there is definitely a training package for you. And let me tell you, in VR, you can really sense that the instructor is right there beside you. Now, make no mistake, these are professionally produced tutorials and nothing like the tutorials in 2024. It really is an absolute pleasure to do them, and it feels really rewarding when you do things correctly. All the links for FS Academy will be in the description below. Right, let's get into today's video. Welcome back to the channel. I can't believe it's 2025 already. And here, this footage you're seeing is from Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, which in my opinion is the better sim for VR. So in this video today, as you can see, I'm using the Somnium VR1 Ultimate Edition VR headset, a super high-end, really high-end VR headset from Somnium Space. And if you don't know anything about this headset, where have you been? You're clearly a new subscriber, so pull up a chair and check out all of my Somnium VR1 content. Most of it will be in the notes below. I'm not going to go through the specification here because I've done this a million times. I'm going to go straight into my thoughts, opinions, and what it's like living with this VR headset. So make no mistake, this is a very, very expensive VR headset. In essence, this is the cutting edge of VR and XR in the consumer space for PC VR. This headset has incredible visuals, amazing field of view, really nice pass-through, great software and features, hand tracking, eye tracking, the whole works. And with the latest warping profile together with just upping my IPD a little bit to 67mm, which I can get away with in this headset, which is the first actually, because any other headset I have to have my exact IPD of 65, I'm getting 124 degrees horizontal now. That is really impressive field of view. But what is it like to live with? As you know from this channel, I give you all of the information, and I don't just do one review of a VR headset when it's first released and I move on. That's not what this channel is about. It's really about living with all of these devices, all this hardware that I show, as a flight simmer, as an aviation enthusiast, enjoying it with my hobby. And it's been 9 months since I got my grubby hands on the Somnium VR1 here at the VR Flight Sim Guy Man Cave, which is a tiny spare room, by the way, nothing special. So in essence, this is quite an easy video to make because it's been a really trouble-free, no mess experience. The thing is about the Somnium VR1 is it works every single time. And especially when I've been doing recording with it, when it's been on for hours and I've been messing around, changing computer systems, changing settings, changing the flight sim, it's always been there waiting for me for when I put it on my head and go for a flight. This feels like it's going to last a long time, and in 9 months, it just feels as brand new as the day that I tried it. So let's just talk about the visuals, because that is at the core of the Somnium VR1. This is without question the sharpest clarity that you can get from a 35 ppd headset. And this is down to a combination of factors coming together to produce these visuals. And you can see here, this is some through the lens footage that I did take from my phone a while ago. So keep in mind that there will be some artifacts. But if you compare this to other through the lens footage that I've done, I think you'd agree this is the best you've ever seen, without question. The Somnium VR1 has a dual stack design lens which gives it that immense field of view, but thankfully you don't suffer with any glare due to that dual stack design, which was really a surprise for me. That means you also get an immense sweet spot. It really is fantastic, and compared to say the Pimax Crystal with its glass aspheric lenses or the Varia Aero and the XR4, the VR1 beats them all when it comes to that wide eye box that you can look around without moving the headset. It really is a very nice place to be for your eyes. But there is more, because it's not just the lenses that make this headset the way it is. It's also the brightness, because the way I can put this is, imagine looking through a VR headset on a bright summer's day. It feels like a bright summer's day. You can almost feel the warmth of the sun on your skin. It's that good. And then, of course, there is the software. Now, I don't know the ins and outs, and I don't know the technicalities behind this, but the Somnium team have managed to get some very clever NVIDIA sharpening and AMD sharpening techniques working in VR, and you can do that in the software. This really adds the icing on the cake, and it just makes the sharpness and clarity of text even more crispy. And it's the best way I can describe it. It's very crisp, like looking at a 4K monitor. Now, one thing that is still being worked on is local dimming. And this headset, at the time of this recording, which is just before Christmas, well, that feature still is not here yet. But I am looking forward to trying local dimming once it's available. But a great example here is looking at the 146 Professional. And as you can see there, the knee board and the EFB, the text is just so sharp. And sometimes I actually quite enjoy just having a break from the Somnium VR1, only because I can appreciate it all over again when I go back to it. Because there'll be times when I'm using the Pimax Crystal or the XR4 at 35 ppd or other headsets. But then when I go back to Somnium VR1, I'm just blown away all over again. Now, I know many of you will want to know what I think about this headset compared to the Mega Next Superlight 8K, which is another incredible micro OLED VR headset that is now coming very early this year. Well, I'll do a dedicated video in comparison about these two headsets, so stay tuned for that video because I have a lot to say, that's for sure. But for now, let's just stick to the theme of this video, and that is living with the Somnium VR1 and what it's been like over the past 9 months. And in terms of the clarity, it is absolutely immense. It is the best, sharpest, brightest, and highest field of view headset of the 35 ppd aspheric lens crowd at this point in time. Superb. So what about all the other things? Well, you know what? It's quite amazing how quickly you get used to using the pass-through, because unlike, say, the XR4, which you have to go through menus, you can click the pass-through and it's immediate using the 4 shortcut buttons, which in my opinion is absolute genius. These 4 shortcut buttons on top of the headset can be programmed to do many things. I've got mine set for mixed reality on the button 1, then my virtual desktop, another really good feature, and the other 2 is for eye tracking and something else, I can't remember. But the point is that you can customize those buttons to basically go straight to something without any messing around. Trust me, something as simple as that really makes life so much easier when you're flying like this. And as you've seen from these shots, you can also create your own mask, and there will be a feature coming soon where you can mask your own cockpit or anything using the hand tracking. I can't wait to see that in action. And this is something that has really impressed me, that the VR1 hasn't really been out for very long, and already we've had tons of new updates to the software. For example, if you don't like the warping profile, there are different ones that you can try, although I have to say the latest warping profile is absolutely fantastic, and again is the best I've seen from any other aspheric lens headset. Really good. For example, when looking at a menu or text or a cockpit and moving your head left and right, up and down, there is minimal movement of the image. It's superb again. So you're probably getting a bit of a theme from this video at this point, that everything I'm saying is basically best in class. It's got incredible software, really superb build quality. It's dependable, it's reliable. The shortcut buttons make the quality of life features very easy to use in VR. It has immense visuals that includes the sweet spot, brightness, colors, clarity, field of view, and of course the features of the pass-through. The eye tracking, if you can use it in your applications such as DCS World, means you can get dynamic foveated rendering, and the hand tracking is also very, very fast. In fact, I'll just show you some footage now of the hand tracking, and the latency, well, it's so quick that it feels almost immediate when you're moving your hands around. And I can't wait to hopefully try the hand tracking in an application that supports it in the near future. So what are the things that I don't like about this headset? And in 9 months, really, it's still the same thing it's always been, and that is the form factor. That is the Achilles heel of the headset, especially the Ultimate Edition with those very nice sensors. And because of the design of those aspheric lenses, it does stick out of your head, quite honestly, really far. And that center of gravity is a lot further out, which means you can feel the frontal weight of the headset. Now, as you can see from some of my footage, perhaps because this is just a variety of different B-roll that I've been using to showcase various experiences with the VR1, I am now using a Bobo head strap. I think it's the M2, which is used for the Quest 2, which slips straight onto the headset, and it has made a huge difference. And I did post a 3-hour test with the Somnium VR1, and in that video I actually did make it the whole 3 hours with just a couple of little breaks just to get a coffee, that kind of thing, which I would normally do anyway. Regardless of being in VR or using flat screen games, I would still take a break. I wouldn't just go 3 hours straight. But I think it is something that is subjective, and for me, with this Bobo head strap, it's fine. For other people, and I've seen on the Somnium Space Discord, the stock strap is absolutely fine. But if you think about everything this headset is offering, well, it's probably a trade-off most people don't mind, including myself, especially now that I've got it dialed in for my own preference and comfort. I think another thing to mention is currently this headset doesn't have great motion reprojection. I'm hoping that this could be improved over time. It's quite a difficult thing for a VR company to do in-house. I remember at the days of Vario, I did harp on about this to them, and eventually they did get their motion smoothing working to a point where it's actually one of the best out there. And I hope that Somnium Space can work on this in the future, because I know many of my flight sim community members, well, motion reprojection is something very important to them, and it is very important to me as well. And when you compare this to the likes of the Quest 3 SSW using virtual desktop and Vario's motion smoothing, it is something that is missing from a premium VR headset such as this. But apart from that, I can't really think of anything else that detracts me from the Somnium VR1. It is quite simply an astonishing marvel of technology, and for PC VR, especially for flight simulation, for those of you who want the best, have deep pockets and can afford it, this is right up there with the best that you can get. And in 9 months of use, it is still an absolute pleasure to use, and it hasn't given me any problems at all. There's just little things about this headset that I love, such as there is 2 different cables going out of either end of the headset, rather than just 2 cables together out of one side of the headset like the Vario XR4. This provides much better weight distribution. Things like the cable itself is of the highest quality, and the connectors of the USB ports and HDMI are all metal and just feel really good quality. I love how there's just so much in the software to really give you all of the power that you possibly could want. And overall, as I say, this is the dream PC VR headset for flight sim enthusiasts all around the world. Thanks for watching as always, I truly appreciate it. Please let me know your thoughts on the Somnium VR1. I know it's a very expensive VR headset, but hopefully you've seen why in this video, because it's absolute best in class. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but overall, I think it's quite a feat of engineering. Take care, and I'll see you again for another video very soon. Bye bye for now.